being somebody who was really good on show. He had a very good idea of what he wanted to show people, but he wasn't that good on the building. And they said that when they did the restoration of this building, they were really scared when they started work on it was going to fall down. And they literally found that one of the walls was made out of half bricks and rubble, rather than full bricks. And there was somebody, there's a wonderful story about how one of the engineers on site stayed in a single room watching 12 strain gauges, ready to evacuate the building should anything go wrong for 2 weeks in the building. So it was definitely quite a challenge. It's also interesting in the fact that they're trying out new techniques. I think Elaine already suggested this was the start of the idea of having an estate where you would have lots of semi-detached houses. Well, these are semi-detached houses. There's two, and most of them are actually 2 houses in the one building, and that is actually pretty unusual. It's not the first time it happened. The first time it was on the Air Estate just down the road, but it is the one that is thought to become the real prototype of the concept of a suburban housing estate, where all the houses are different. And of course that lasted till around about the Second World War, and after that we have quite a different style of the estate. If you look at the building, there are also some interesting things about it. I don't know if you can see the Tudor windows on this side. But if you go look at them closely, you'll notice that the way they open is very bizarre. One of the windows on one side at the bottom opens, and the other one at the top, on the top right side, more difficult to see from here, opens. And that's because they were using previous technology for sash cords, and they hadn't thought about how they could do these kind of 3 windows in a row. So, also the guttering. If you look at the guttering, it's actually hidden behind that kind of piece of wood up along the top. And originally it was made out of lead, which works quite well for the first few years, but as the sun comes out it gets hot and then it gets cold again and contracts. Lead buckles, and it does mean that all these houses were incredibly damp until the recent years when they actually got the agreement with the English Heritage to, because they're all listed, to replace them with an aluminium guttering behind there. So it's a plasticized aluminium, which will apparently last for a large number of years. The next house along, a very different style. I'd call that classical Swiss chalet type style. And then the next one along is also different. That's actually a Regency style. So it gives you an idea of this different, every house looking different. And I would warn you, when you look at a house from the road, you've got to also think about what view is on the other side, because some of these houses have a quite impressive views on the other side of their road, on the other side of the building, rather than on the space of the road. So for example, this house, which looks kind of quite square on this side, actually has an octagonal turret on this side and a circular turret on the other side. So they really are kind of quite fancy houses. Number 4, that one, is actually also the one that's probably got the most famous person that's actually lived, well actually that's probably not true anymore, what traditionally would have been the most famous person, and that's the chap called Sidney Webb. And you may know Sidney Webb. He was the person that became, with his wife Beatrice, actually became the people that founded the Fabians, and they're also the person that set up London School of Economics. There's a real Beauty and the Beast marriage. Apparently Webb was scrawny, spoke with a very poor quality accent, and had spots all over him and wasn't at all attractive, whereas Beatrice Webb was quite an attractive woman, but he had an amazing brain, and so it worked very well as a marriage. Now we're going to walk a little bit further down the estate. Again, look at the houses as we go. I will stop at one house, and that one house is a house that was owned by the famous football chap and Nancy Delio. Who was that? Ericsson. Sven Ericsson.
Yeah.
He had a house here. I'm told until very recently, Stanley Johnson used to live in this street. I'm not sure which house. And of course, the current community is absolutely up in arms about the proposals for HS2. Now, HS2, as you know, is the kind of the road, the new railway that's going to come into Euston, and it's going to come past here. In fact, what they're going to do is they're going to take down the wall and all this planting on this side of the road. They're then going to excavate the road and the tunnel is going under the road surface. So to protect all these listed houses, they're also going to dig under the houses and put a concrete raft under the houses. You can imagine the residents are not dead pleased, and there is a wonderful set of petitions on the parliamentary website which talk about why this is a really bad idea, but it's the big issue. So we're really seeing them now today in a form which, once Crossrail gets going, you're probably going to have to wait 5 or 6 years to come down here because it'll be closed for a long time. But they are kind of quite glorious houses. And you have to remember that the railway line was widened in the early 1900s. And originally, there was more houses on this side of the road than on that side of the house. Oh. In fact, there was even a small side road that went off. And when Nash planned this, it was very much the Arcadia vision we've heard about from Elaine. It was where you would have been able to see lots of windy roads and paths. You had trees, you had water. Today, that effect is very much muted, partly because the houses on this side of the road are missing, but also because people have actually built garages and have put high walls, so you no longer get the views that Nash originally envisaged. So it would have been really quite a bucolic area originally. Follow me down.